first thing you're going to do is you're going to decide which formula to use. Since we have big A, each of these formulas only have one capital letter. So you got to pick the one with the big A. You have no choice. And we just plug things in the formula. So we don't know what A squared is, but we know what B squared is, and we know what C squared is, and we know what B and C are. And then we know what A is, cosine of 120. So what you're going to do is you're not going to do this in stutter steps. You're going to put all of that in your calculator, and that'll be equal to A squared. So everybody do that and make sure you have the same answer. So A squared is 151, and if you look at the formulas, we added that 2 in front of the BC, the AC, and the AB. It was missing a 2 up there. So A squared is 151. A lot of times, kids will put 151 as their answer because they forget that it's A squared, and they forget they have to square root it. But if you were to put 151 above that 9 and that 5, you kind of figure that would be a hard triangle to draw. You got a 9-inch side, a 5-inch side, and then this really long side that doesn't make sense. So kind of check and make sure it makes sense. So you're going to square root 151, and you're going to get A to 2 decimal places. So what is it, 12 point what? 29. So we found A. Switch over to the law of sine, so you have sine of 120 over 12.29 equals sine of big B over 9. And you cross multiply this, sine of 120 times 9. And what do you get? What's sine of 120 times 9?
79, I think.
It's 7.79 equals 12.29 sine of B. So then divide by 12.29 on both sides. And what do you get? 7.79 divided by 12.29 is what?
3.
4 places now. 0.63 what?
4, 2.
3, 4, yeah.
42
Yeah.
equals sine of B. How do I find an angle? What button do I push when I'm finding an angle? You have to hit second sine of 0.6342. So second sine of second answer. Remember to find the B? And you will get big B. What is big B to 2 places?
B is 39.36.
Okay. And it'll be easy to find big C by just subtracting from 180. So what do we get for big C? So big C will be 20.64 because you take 180 minus 120 minus 39.36 to get your third angle. We're going to use the same formulas to solve this triangle. A, B, C,
Is this the harder one?
little b, little c, and little a, yep. And I'm going to give you all the sides, but I'm not going to give you the angles. And this is a little harder because of algebra gets in the way. You don't use the right order of operations, but let's say this is 8, this is 7, and this is 5. And you need to just decide now which angle do you want to find first. I'm pretty logical. I just find A first because A comes before B and C, but it doesn't matter what you use. So we have big A, big B, big C, little a, little b, little c, and we have all those 3, so we can put them down. Little a is 8, little b is 7, little c is 5. Got it? So let's use the one for the A. The A says A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine of big A. Yeah? We plug in everything we know. 8 squared equals 7 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 7 times 5 times cosine of A. But we're going to underline this here. Underline it and don't separate it until I tell you to. So we have 64 equals 49 plus 25. And then we can go ahead and combine those. That's going to be minus 70 cosine of A. We're going to underline that, not separate it right now. Okay? And now we're going to take 64 minus 49 minus 25 equals negative 70 cosine of A. Do not combine that 70 with the other numbers because he is gunked onto that cosine of A. So now you're going to tell me what this answer is on the left side. So negative 10 equals negative 70 cosine of A. Now you can divide by negative 70. And you get 1/7 equals cosine of A. So how do I find A? Hit second cosine of 1/7. And it'll give you the big A. What is it?
81.79.
Okay. Now I have a full fraction, so we can switch over to the law of sine and find big B. And once we find big B, we can subtract that from 180, those two from 180 to find big C. Get 60 for B, so C is very easy. You just subtract 60 and 81.79 from 180. So what do you get? 21, something point 21.
38.21.
I like it.
Same.
38.21.